Episode 8, Funny Phobia Frenzy.
Let's start with some common fears. Anyone here afraid of spiders? I used to be terrified of them until I realized that they're basically nature's 8-legged exterminators. Now, whenever I see a spider in my house, I just leave it alone and let it do its thing. Sure, it might crawl into my mouth while I'm sleeping, but that's a small price to pay for a bug-free home, right? But there are some fears that are a little harder to shake. Like the fear of public speaking. I mean, here I am, a language model designed to communicate with people, and even I get nervous sometimes. The key is to remember that the audience wants you to succeed. Unless you're giving a speech at a rival high school or something, in which case you're on your own. One of my personal phobias is the fear of heights. I'm not talking about the kind of fear that makes your palms sweaty when you're on a tall building or a roller coaster. I mean the kind of fear that makes you freeze up when you're standing on a chair. My therapist told me that exposure therapy is the best way to overcome this fear, so I've been climbing trees every day for the past week. I'm happy to report that I'm now up to a solid 3 feet off the ground. Finally, let's talk about one of the most common fears out there, the fear of the unknown. This is the fear that keeps us up at night, wondering what's going to happen tomorrow or next week or next year. But you know what? Sometimes the unknown can be a good thing. It's what keeps life interesting and exciting. I mean, if we knew everything that was going to happen, what would be the point of living? In conclusion, fears and phobias can be scary, but they can also be funny. And if you're ever feeling overwhelmed by your own fears, just remember that you're not alone. We're all in this together, and we're all just doing our best to get through the day without being eaten by spiders or falling off a chair. Thank you and good night. Fears and phobias, huh? Well, I gotta say, I have a few of those myself. For example, I'm deathly afraid of spiders. Not just any spiders, mind you, I'm talking about those big, hairy ones that seem like they could take down a small mammal. You know the ones I'm talking about? They're like something out of a horror movie. Every time I see one, I feel like I'm in a survival situation, like I'm Bear Grylls and I need to figure out how to escape without getting eaten alive. But here's the thing. As scared as I am of spiders, there are some people out there who are even more scared of them than I am. I mean, I know people who will literally run out of a room if they see a spider, no matter how small it is. And then there are people who are afraid of other things, like heights or public speaking or clowns. I don't know about you, but I think clowns are pretty creepy too. I mean, who thinks it's a good idea to put on a bunch of makeup and dress up in a colorful outfit just to make kids laugh? It's like they're trying too hard. But the thing about fears and phobias is that they can be really debilitating. Like, I have a friend who's so scared of flying that she refuses to get on a plane no matter what. She'll drive or take the train or the bus or whatever, but she won't fly. And I get it, flying can be scary. But if you're letting your fear control your life to that extent, maybe it's time to get some help. On the other hand, there are some fears that are just plain irrational. Like, have you ever heard of someone being afraid of pickles? I'm not making that up, it's a real thing. It's called turophobia and it's the fear of pickles. I mean, I like pickles as much as the next guy, but I wouldn't say I'm afraid of them. Unless they're those really sour ones, those can be pretty intimidating. In the end, I think the best way to deal with fears and phobias is to face them head on. Don't let them control your life, but don't ignore them either. Maybe try exposure therapy, where you gradually expose yourself to the thing you're afraid of until it becomes less scary. Or maybe just take a deep breath and remind yourself that you're stronger than your fear. And if all else fails, just carry a can of bug spray and hope for the best. So, fears and phobias. We all have them, don't we? Some people are scared of spiders, others of heights, and then there are those who are terrified of clowns. But you know what really scares me? Public speaking. Oh, don't get me wrong, I'm not afraid of talking to people. I'm doing it right now, after all. But there's something about standing up in front of a crowd that just sends shivers down my spine. Maybe it's the fear of being judged, or the possibility of making a fool of myself. Or maybe it's just the thought of all those eyes staring back at me, silently asking, who is this guy, and why should we listen to him? Of course, it's not just public speaking that can be scary. There are plenty of other things that can make our hearts race and our palms sweat. Like flying, for example. I used to be terrified of flying. Every time I got on a plane, I was convinced that it was going to crash and burn. But then I realized something. If I'm going to die in a plane crash, there's not much I can do about it, is there? So I might as well sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. And if the worst does happen, at least I'll be going out in style, with a little bag of peanuts in my lap. But enough about me. Let's talk about some of the weirder phobias out there. Did you know that there are people who are afraid of buttons? Yes, buttons. They're called componophobia, and apparently it's a real thing. Can you imagine being so scared of buttons that you have to wear clothes with zippers or snaps all the time? I mean, how do you even function in society like that? Excuse me, boss, I can't wear this uniform because it has buttons on it. Oh, and by the way, can you pass me that stapler? I don't want to touch the buttons on the copy machine. And then there's trypophobia, which is the fear of clusters of small holes or bumps. I don't know about you, but that one gives me the creeps just thinking about it. I mean, who even comes up with these things? Hey, let's make a phobia about tiny holes. That'll be fun. In conclusion, we all have our fears and phobias, whether they're rational or not. But at the end of the day, the only way to conquer them is to face them head on. Unless, of course, you're scared of facing them head on, in which case, good luck with that. Thanks for listening, folks.
And that wraps up another laughter-filled episode of Not So Funny A. If you enjoyed the jokes generated by our AI algorithms, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our comedy-loving community.